Hello folks, and welcome once again to the Movie Mad channel. It's James here, and today on the channel I'm going to talk about the top 10 reasons to continue buying physical media in 2023. So I'm going to do a bit of an intro, and then I'll probably give you my top 10 reasons. They're not in any particular order, and there's probably more than 10. So that's probably ruined the title of this video already, but there you go. So that's what I'm going to do. So the reason I'm talking about this is that I've noticed, and as sure many physical media collectors like yourselves, which is probably why you're watching this channel, have noticed, is that physical media seems to be slowing down, less and less. There's less and less all about, and I'll just explain that. So first of all, in my CEX, the range of Blu-rays and DVDs seems to have reduced hugely over the last, I would say the last year and a half. And I think that's got one primary reason, and that's because a lot of supermarkets have stopped selling physical media. Now, what happens there is that, when you're doing your regular shop and you're out and about, you maybe go, oh, look, the latest release of, it used to be Star Wars or Titanic or whatever it was, and your supermarket had it, and you just put that in with your weekly shop, and then that filtered down to the charity shops, and then that filtered down to me, and also into CEX. But as the supermarkets, one of the most readily available sources of physical media, have mainly stopped selling them lately, that source seems to have dried up, and you've got streaming and taking over. So there used to be Blockbuster, used to be where you could buy, you could rent or you could buy. That no longer exists. It's been quite away for quite a while now. But you still used to see some of their movies in the charity shops. And again, when you were out doing your shopping and, you say you were an older age pensioner or whatever, you had a DVD player, you bought the DVD and you watched it. But my gran doesn't even have a DVD player anymore. Or a video player. My dad doesn't have a DVD or a Blu-ray player anymore. It's just myself that's got a physical player for this physical media, and most people are relying on streaming. So that's why I want to talk about this in this video, and I'm going to I'm going to talk about my top 10 reasons, and I'm going to go through them one at a time, and I'm going to try and edit this video together so that I can change bits if I really need to in it. So that's my wee intro there, and we'll just move on to the first reason that I think we should all still buy physical media. Reason number 10, I say these are not in any particular order, for continuing to buy physical media in 2023. This one is a wee bit of a subjective point, because not everybody who's got a physical media collection will do this, and that is you can lend your movies if you want to, if you choose to do that. And a lot of people might not want to lend their movies out for any number of reasons, right? You don't get them back or anything, or they get damaged or something like that. But you can share your love of a movie by lending it to someone and letting them watch it and then seeing what their opinion is, which is a good thing to do. And as password sharing crackdowns on physical media, not on physical media, on streaming sites gets more and more prevalent, then you always watch the same things unless people have got the same streaming, on the same streaming service, which can become expensive. So, you've got your movie there. Say, well, let's just take one off the shelf, whatever one it might be. Let's choose one that I might want to lend to someone. Oh, there we go. Weird Science. I like this movie. I think it's really good. And I might want to say to someone, hey, you want to watch that? I think, tell me what your opinion on this is. And I could lend it to them, and I'd get it back. And there's no cost involved in that. Whereas with the password sharing, with what's happening with Netflix, I know it's not happened in the UK yet, but it's probably gonna, where you can't physically watch a movie together. So that's my reason number 10. Reason number 9 for continuing to buy physical media in 2023 is I want to talk a little bit about streaming services and the picture quality and the audio quality on services like Amazon, Apple, Disney Plus, Netflix. Now, no matter how much they want to be uncompressed, they can't be, because the data for what's information that's held on a 4K disc cannot be transmitted over the internet at this time, and it means that the files are compressed, and there's always going to be some picture quality loss and certainly sound loss. I know from experience, when I put a Blu-ray disc into the 4K player, or even my Xbox One S, I have to turn the volume down, as when I've been previously watching streaming services, the sound is just totally different. It clearly is better on the disc compared to the stream itself. Now, there are some exceptions in this, and that is that on Disney Plus, so for example, the Star Wars, they have Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, whereas the 4K discs don't. But it doesn't mean we can't release the 4K disc with the Dolby Atmos or the Dolby Vision, they just haven't. And even with that, it is a very good picture, but it still must be compressed. So I'd imagine a Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos disc of Star Wars must be better than the stream. But as they haven't released them, we'll never know. And that's the other thing. Why do that exclusively on their site? It's to keep you there, isn't it? The other thing to note is the IMAX scenes on the Marvel ones on Disney Plus. None of the discs have been released with the IMAX scenes, but it is available on Disney Plus. So that is an exception to what I've just been saying about the compression. But when I say exception, if they released discs with the IMAX and discs with the Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, and imagine they would be better than the actual streaming service themselves. Reason number 8. Now, this one, I'd like people to think about this one for themselves and see what you think. Do your own research into this one and decide whether it's true or not. But I believe that streaming services lead to environmental damage. And the reason I believe that is that the number of servers that need to be online and need to be cooled must generate a massive amount of electricity in order to cool those servers and send all the data over. And I think that's got to have an environmental cost. Whereas when you put your disc into your player and you're watching a movie yourself, that's a lot lower. And you know, in terms of environment, I'm concerned about the environment in some ways. And is that another reason that streaming services aren't as good as physical media? I think it could be. Reason number 7. So, that's a coincidence that I've chose reason number 7 and what I've just picked up off the shelf. That's absolute coincidence. I didn't plan this, so that's pretty good. So, reason number 7 is the inherent value of physical media. And that is that, you know, if you go onto whatever streaming service it is, for example, Amazon Prime or Apple or Google Play or whatever, and you go to buy a movie on there and you buy that, that's yours in digital form in a way. But say for example, you were like, you paid, say you bought one of the movies for £8 or something like that. What can you do with that? Can you sell it? Can you get rid of it? Well, you can always delete it, I suppose, but that's a waste of £8. But say you've got a movie and you bought it for £8 or something on one of these digital platforms, you didn't like it, and what are you going to do with it? Whereas, if you've got, and as I say, this is where it's coincidence, you've picked up 7 off the shelf of the Amazon and you didn't like it, you can give it to someone else to watch. You can maybe go to CX and trade it in. Now, I'm not saying you'll get value out of every single movie that you buy, but some of the 4Ks do tend to hold their prices quite a bit, and if you've decided it's a one watch for you, then you can get some of your money back. Can you do with that digital? No, you can't. So just while I'm doing this, let me just go to the CEX website. Let's just check in, probably a bad example, how much you get for 7 on Blu-ray. Not a massive amount, you get £1. But I probably only paid about 4 for that, but you get £1 back. And I'm sure some of the other examples, the other movies in my collection, you get a lot more back for that. And that's some of your value that you've got back. But am I ever going to trade 7 in? Not unless I get the 4K on there. So that's the thing. And as you can see, I've actually combined 7 with my DVD as well, and it's on my favourite shelf. And to be honest with you, I might move that one off my favourite shelf because I've watched it so recently. I remember the ending, and when you remember the ending of the film, sometimes you want to try and forget, but whether I'll ever forget that ending, I don't know. So that's reason number 7. Reason number 6. Now this one is about streaming services again, and this sounds like it's a streaming bashing, but it's not. This is just my arguments for physical media. And reason number 6 is to collect your favourites, because you never know which streaming platform that your favourite might be on. Now, for example, I wanted to watch Brewster's Millions the other night, and I checked out Disney Plus, it wasn't there. I checked out Netflix, it wasn't there. I checked out Amazon Prime, it wasn't there. The only platform it was on Freevee, which you had to watch with adverts. So I don't know why I had the urge to watch Brewster's Millions, because it is one of my favourite films, but I spent maybe 15, 20, 25 minutes looking for it on all these multiple streaming services where I could have been watching it, where I could have been watching the film, and all it would have took was me to go and get the disc, pop it in my player. And the other thing with that is, if you have all these streaming services, we have Netflix, Disney Plus and Amazon, but there's so many other ones to buy. The cost involved in owning so many streaming services, where, let's count this up. Now, my wife and I split these streaming services between us. So she pays for Disney Plus, which is $7.99 a month, and she pays for Amazon Prime, which is also $7.99 a month.
It's gone up to 10.
Amazon Prime's gone up to 10. That's $17.99 a month, and I pay for Netflix with the multiple screens, which is £15, or it might even be $15.99. So that's £33 a month. Now, with £33 a month, if you're careful and you buy 4Ks when they're offer, you could buy 3 4Ks for that, as well as not being able to find the movie you actually want to watch. So that's reason number 6. It's, are your favourites on Netflix? Sorry about that, to pause for a second there. Are they on Netflix or are they on Amazon Prime? Are they anywhere? Now, another one I've recently very kindly been sent is No Escape on 4K. Can you find that on any streaming service? I don't think so. So that's reason number 6, is the availability and looking for your favourite movies. Since we've reached reason number 5, I think we should just reiterate what I'm talking about here, and that's the top 10 reasons to continue buying physical media. And reason number 5, I've actually combined. I had 2 points, and I've combined them into one here. And the first one is the internet. Now, internet outages can be a right pain, especially when you're watching a movie and it starts to buffer and it just doesn't work. The number of times my kids and I we watch Friends or Big Bang or something like that on Netflix at dinner time, and the number of times it's just stopped working and we can't watch it. And it's right in the middle, because we always watch them in series, and you're like, we watch them at dinner and it just stops working. And you're like, oh, well, for the Big Bang, that's not too bad, or Friends, that's not too bad, because I can just go and get my Blu-ray and put it on. But the inconvenience that causes, and that never really happens with a disc. It's on and it plays. Very occasionally does it stop or things like that if you're not taking care of your disc. But that is one of the things. Internet outages stops you watching. The other thing is that my guy's got a caravan and we go there quite regularly, and the internet isn't great there. So if you're watching something and it's on Netflix or something like that, then most of the time it stops because the internet's not great in these zones. And I'm sure there's areas across the country and other countries where internet isn't great either. Whereas you pop in the disc, it works. That's it, no problem. So these apps and things like that are great and convenient, but they do stop working. And I say in combination with that, excuse me, what happens if the zombie apocalypse comes and all these servers go down and there is no internet? And as long as you've got some kind of power and you've got some kind of, player and TV hooked up to it, you're set and you've got your physical media. That one's just for fun, There could be any kind of apocalypse, never mind just a zombie one. Because I'm sure if the zombies were coming, the last thing you would be doing is sitting and watching your movie. But you might do at night time, when you're trying to escape from them. So that's reason number 5. Reason number 4. I'm getting my exercise, getting up and down here, doing these pauses in this video so I can edit it together. Reason number 4. This is when we start to get a little bit serious. And that is the issue of censorship. Now, I don't want to get into any political arguments or things like that about censorship. But what I want to discuss is that I think we have the right, to a degree, to watch what we want in the format that it was given to us by the original content creator. For example, The Simpsons episode on Michael Jackson has been removed from Disney Plus on Series 3. Now, that episode, it was made, it was viewed. Now, just by taking it out doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And it wasn't made. But what you're trying to do is change the history of your series that you have, or that you have suddenly never made that episode. There's also, There's a few episodes of SpongeBob I think have been removed. There's also a couple of other TV series that have had episodes removed as well, but I don't know what they are. And maybe I don't know what they are because that's what their aim is. They've removed them so you don't seem to notice the difference. I believe that Sliders is not available in any streaming service, uncut whatsoever. That's if you can even find it on a streaming service. And the other things that I've been told, and I'm not 100% if these are true or not, but there's a lot of deleted scenes in Friends that were different cuts that weren't put on Netflix, that weren't put on the streaming service because it didn't suit the size of the episode for the TV and things like that. And that bugs me that the content creators have, not the content creators, the streaming services have so much power that they can choose whether to what you watch. And I think that's wrong. There's also other bits in censorship. For example, there are, cuts of TV shows where certain words and certain things have been removed just slightly, and you might not even notice it unless you've got the original physical media. And that's why physical media is so important. So you've got the original, and you can compare it to what the streamers are doing. For a long time, a very long time, the Muppets Christmas Carol had the song with Michael Caine removed, where he's singing to his fiancée, or she's singing to him, and that was removed for an extremely long time. I believe that's now been restored, but I didn't even notice that was missing until somebody mentioned it to me. I don't think it's even on the DVD or on the Blu-ray. It's on the original VHS. I always wanted to own the original VHS for that reason, but I believe it's been corrected in the 4K. Again, I'm not 100% sure on that. So it's just that, if you've got your content, it can't be changed. Nobody's going to come into your house and go, tell you what, let's go and take that wee bit out of the DVD or the wee bit out of the Blu-ray. And I know what I'm saying that because it wasn't on the Blu-ray, on the DVD for the Muppets Christmas Carol, but I'm just talking for other examples. Now, I can see the Big Bang Theory with some of the things that Leonard's mother says in it being politically correct removed is not the right word, censored to make out that they never made it in the first place. And I don't like that. If you've made things and it's there, you've got to say, if there's things in there that are wrong, then if you are watching it with your children or whatever, then you've got to, point out to them that maybe that what at the time that was acceptable, but now in these times that's not acceptable. But that's my choice as a parent, and my choice as a human being, that I can choose what I think is correct and what I think is not, to a certain degree. I also heard that there's a Disney movie called Lilo and Stitch. I've never seen it. Have you seen it, Arlene? And in it, I think one of them's an alien, and the alien hides in the washing machine, and that has been removed from the Blu-ray or the Blu-ray or the streaming as well, because they don't want children going into washing machines right now, and getting hurt, because that might get them sued or whatever that does. But I think as a parent, I can tell my child not to get in a washing machine, and I think he would know, or she would know themselves, that that's not the right thing to do. But to remove it for the film, which was originally made, is not the best thing. Speaking of that, there's also a clip in the Santa Claus that's been removed where Tim Allen is phoning someone and he says, all right, I'm going to report this to 1-800 spank me, and the children were phoning that number. And that's funny. That's funny. And you know what? If your child phones that, then that's your own fault. I suppose. On there. And that's what I'm talking about in terms of censorship. It's just too much. There's old series and series that probably never get aired and you probably never see again, but they're you've got to view them as pieces of their time. I think I've talked enough about that. But that's reason number 4. Censorship. I probably could talk about this for a long time. In fact, I should just mention as well, as far as I know, Toy Story 2 credits have been removed from Disney Plus, but I could be wrong on that as well. But that's what I mean, they change things so you don't know. Whereas they can't do that when it's in your own house and you've got it and you can watch it. Right, ramble. Let's talk about that enough. Reason number 4, censorship. Reason number 3. Are you absolutely serious? Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So I'm on my library in YouTube where you can buy the movies on Google Play, and this is my library on Google Play, and it's not all out of order. There's quite a few movies, but most of these, okay, I got out of the digital like codes that you got in movies and things like that you got before. Okay, and I like them. I've got a lot of these here, but these were also ported over from Flickster. A lot of these, when Flickster and Ultraviolet closed down. Now, when Flickster and Ultraviolet closed down, some of them, my movies, couldn't be ported. So although I'd purchased them and purchased the digital codes, they just took them off me. And I think it was only 2 or 3 that happened with. But, you know, this digital library, I can't rely on that being there. I just can't rely on that always being there because the services shut down so often. And, you know, this is what I was going to show you. Let's get back to where I was. Oh, could we get way back up the top? Sorry about this. Okay. I own a couple of series of Big Bang Theory on this digital that I got out the packs when I bought the actual Blu-ray. So it says buy there. It says buy season and episodes. So you go in there and it says, look, buy season 1, buy season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5. Season 5 I've got, so I don't have to buy that. Season 6, I don't have to buy that. And season 7, so that's the only, you know, 2 seasons I've got. But let's just have a look at how much they're asking for 1 season of The Big Bang Theory on this Google Play. £18.49 for 1 season of The Big Bang Theory. They can buy the entire 12 shows on Blu-ray for £79 or £60 even, but yet you want £18.49 for a single season. And that's just one example, and that's not the worst example. Okay, this one is the worst example I've seen. Well, let's just have a look at one more thing. So there's Supernatural. My wife really likes that, and I've got a couple of episodes, a couple of seasons off the digital. Let's have a look which ones we've got. So we've got season 7, season 8. So a couple of seasons off the digital there. Okay. Well, let's just again, say for example, let's have a look at what it costs to buy season 1, which is a DVD you could probably get out of the charity shop for £1, or on Blu-ray for £2 second hand at the moment. Let's just look and see how much they want to charge you. £25 for 1 series of Supernatural. And it's not even 150 now, it's 120 for the whole box set. But by the far, so I would, you know, see if that said maybe £2 or £3. Yeah. Instead of buying it on Blu-ray, I might consider buying that on here, because then you can just watch it and it's instant. But again, they could take this off you at any time, and look at the price they're trying to charge you. And let's go back. This is the worst example I've seen. Where is it? My movies and shows. I'll see if I can find the worst example I've seen, and that is Supergirl. Now, I've got season 1 and season 2 of Supergirl. As you can see right here, that's the complete first season. And I had the digital with it, but it no longer works, so I can no longer use that. And I've got the complete season 2 there. And I think I purchased them for maybe £2 or £3. And I've got complete season 1 or 2. And let's go on to buy episodes. So I managed to redeem season 2, but I was too late to redeem season 1. So I'm stuck with season 2 on here. And this is the worst example of how much it costs for one season. Yeah, a TV show you could probably buy brand new for £5 or £6. Look at the price. Now, who in their right mind is going to pay £36.49 to pay and watch one season of Supergirl? Well, you can go and buy the Blu-ray for about... This really, really bugs me. It really does. And it's just absolutely shocking. And the thing is that even then, if you do that, the chances are that at some point, this service is going to be closed and are no longer on it anyway. So you just want to throw £36.49 down the drain. Now, I've heard that there's a calculated cost in the US for the number of people that have bought digitals and are now no longer available. And that calculated cost is $300 million. Check out if you want, see if you can find that information. And if I'm wrong, let me know. But that is unbelievable. So that was reason number 3 for sticking with physical media. Reason number 2. As I said, these reasons are in no particular order. But this one is quite important. By continuing to buy physical media, we encourage the providers of that physical media, Disney, things like that, to continue producing physical media in that format. Because if we don't buy it, I'll buy a lot second hand, I'll be honest with you, a lot second hand. But I do occasionally buy new. But by continuing to buy physical media, it means that you have always got that copy of that movie in your collection, aside from maybe disc rot or something like that, or a fire or something like that. But you've always going to have it, and it's your choice whether to get rid of that or not. And there's been a couple of movies lately that have been completely filmed. I think it's The Batgirl's one of them. And then, because they don't think it's going to make enough money on streaming, they have just said that they're not going to release that movie at all. Now, did I particularly want to see The Batgirl? No. But maybe that's a point. But I would have watched it. I probably would have ended up owning it on physical media. But the company that filmed it all decided not to release it at all, and got a tax write-off for it. So that whole footage has been lost. There's also other ones, I believe, that have been removed from streaming services, exclusive ones. I don't know which ones they are, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they've been totally removed from streaming services, and like HBO Max and things like that, because they could get tax write-offs from them, and then now nobody can own them at all. And that's why streaming, nobody's ever going to see these things anymore. That's why streaming can't be the way. It can't be the only way. There's got to be choice. But, you can choose streaming or you can choose physical. Now, by not buying physical media or just using streaming, that's eventually what will happen is that streaming will corner the market, and then no physical will be produced. And then prices like we've just seen in that other example will become commonplace because you've no other option. Just my thoughts on it. So that's reason number 2. We're coming close to the end of the video here, folks, and it's my number 1 reason for owning physical media in 2023. And this has got to be your reason for buying physical media, because you want to. It's your choice. If you want to buy physical media, and I certainly do, and it's something that gives you pleasure, and you do it for your own whatever reason that you decide that you want to buy physical media, then that's got to be the number 1 reason for continuing to buy it, because you want to. For example, recently got this, and Kevin Costner's one of my favourite actors, and sometimes just getting this in the post brightens your day. That's what it's meant to do. You've got it. I suppose that could be said for any kind of shopper or any kind of collector. But I'm happy I've got this. It's in my collection. Is it a superficial happiness because I've got this in my collection? Maybe. But it's here. It's on my shelf. I can look at it whenever I want to. I can go around my shelves and look at all the movies that I've collected over time. And each one of them, maybe has a wee story. There's a couple of movies that, I'll be honest with you, I didn't particularly like the movies, but my wife got me them, and she wrote Happy Valentine's Day on them, and they're up there on my shelf, and that that's why they're there, and it's brought you joy, and you've got them, and it always reminds you of them. And there's other movies that bring back nostalgic feelings, Sharp up there. I used to watch that as a 15-year-old on a Wednesday night when I came back from cricket from my school. Why I was playing cricket, I don't know. But Wednesday night, I remember coming in, still light in the summertime. Sharp always had, so cricket was on, I think it was on until 8:30, but rushing back to watch Sharp. And sometimes at the weekends, it used to be on, I don't know what channel it was. What channel was it? UK Gold or something like that. And it was on at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday night. 2 o'clock in the morning for 2 hours. And sometimes I just stayed up to watch it. But now I didn't need to do that because it's in my collection. It's sitting right there. I can watch Sharp anytime I want. And I'm glad it's there. So the number 1 reason for continuing to buy physical media in 2033 is because you want to. And there's a reason behind it. I've got this collection here. You can see some of it. It travels around my room. I could take this out the slot hopefully without breaking it. Oh. It travels around my room. And the reason I've got it is because I want it. And I like it. And every one of these movies, well, most of them, there's some movies I've got in here that I've never watched, but I can just pick out a movie and decide if I want to watch it anytime I want to. Yeah, there we go. There's Lorenzo's Oil, a movie I've watched repeatedly and I never owned. And a subscriber sent this to me. And now it's in my collection and I can watch it anytime I want. Great movie. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed making it. And I did keep it to 10, didn't I? But there's probably a few points in each one of them. So hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks guys. Bye.